Hello everybody, you've caught me taking a sneaky pour of beer from the keg of Evil Dog, the double IPA. I got the box cut out here, if you remember. Just hold that up for you. The Evil Dog double IPA. I showed you how I put the kit together, and it's almost ready, in so much as yes, it's drinkable. It's got a slight cloud to it still. It isn't clear yet. It will eventually clear. But in the week I did sample this. I have to admit it's very pleasant. It's got a nice little head comes on it. But it's a lot sweeter than I expected. I've never had a beer quite as sweet as this one. It's got a very hoppy flavour and aroma. A little bit citrusy, akin to, I would say, something like a grapefruit, that sort of flavour. So the Evil Dog, citrusy, hoppy, but quite sweet. And I'm not entirely certain, but maybe I put too much sugar in the keg when I siphoned it from the bucket into the keg. I don't know. I've never had a beer quite as sweet as this one. It's not sickly sweet, but it's definitely sweeter than I'm used to. But it's very lovely. And I will drink to your health on that note. It's actually very pleasant. I do enjoy this. It's not as clear as I'd like it. However, that could be down to delayed fermentation, temperature, all manner of things. But there are a lot of IPAs and beers out there that are actually produced cloudy. So maybe the nature of this one is going to remain cloudy. I don't know. But it's very drinkable. Very lovely. And I'm going to enjoy a few of these, I'm sure. Now, something I wanted to show you quickly, moving on, is that when you pour your beer from the taps on your kegs, there's always that little bit of drip takes place. It drips and it goes on the floor or anything else that happens to be sitting underneath the keg, for that matter. And I've tried a number of ways in the past to provide some sort of a drip tray or something to catch those drips underneath the taps. And there was a video some time back I did where I showed everybody how I used a pop bottle, a 2-litre plastic bottle, to make a little drip tray, catchment tray that hang on the tap of the keg. I didn't have any tall round ones, but if you've got a bottle of squash like this one, it's a square plastic bottle, it's got squash in it, whatever you've purchased from the store. I've used one of these bottles to produce this. I've actually cut the bottle down each side, left the base on, and I've cut a fairly large round hole in the back. I've removed the top completely, and that quite nicely sits over the tap. I'll give you a close-up picture of this so you can see how it sits on there. So here we have the plastic bottle that's been cut from the neck down. I've left the complete base on the bottom, and I've put this sort of oval shaped hole in the back, and that quite simply sits over the tap and hangs like so, so that when you do put your beer glass underneath and pour your beer, when you remove the glass, any drips falling from that tap get caught by the plastic tray that's part of that plastic bottle. Quite ingenious. I like the idea. It's cheap, cheerful, and works. So I'm happy with that. Now I've actually put 2 shelves in this cupboard. As you saw from the opening sequence, I've tidied up, filled holes, painted the walls in here. I have not added any lighting at this point. I do need to consider what I'm going to do in that respect. as it's quite dark in this corner. But the shelves had to be strong enough, particularly this lower one had to be strong enough to support my kegs. So I've used some basically 2B1 battens, which is what, 25 by 38 millimeters or something of that nature. I've used the battens screwed to the wall across the back and the sides, and I've used a batten to strengthen the actual panel that I've used for the shelf, which incidentally was the side panel from an old wardrobe. So I've strengthened the actual shelf with a batten, and it seems perfectly adequate. It's holding 2 kegs at the moment. This second keg, incidentally, I've quickly put together a Muntons Old English Ale, Muntons Gold Old English Ale 40 pint kit. So I've actually got a second keg set away here. I'm hanging on to that one, letting it mature. If it stays there until Christmas, I'm going to provide that to my daughter and her husband and myself for Christmas drinking. If not, if I get on to drinking it, I'm going to have to quickly make something else for Christmas. But we digress slightly. 2 good shelves. They're both as strong as one another. Battens all round. Strengthen the actual shelf material. That's all sitting in there. I've got my kegs. I've got buckets and kegs on the floor. I've got room for my hoover, my iron. I do at the moment stand my ironing board in here, but there's plenty of room. I may consider putting a short or a narrower shelf further up for some long-term storage. But I can get a lot of stuff in here, and it's neat and tidy. And I might be able to add a few ornaments and bits and pieces, maybe some ornamental lights for lighting. I'll see what I actually do to decorate this with a few bits and pieces to make it more like the pub in the pantry rather than just a cupboard with beer in it. So the pub in the pantry now has beer, 1 or 2 other bits and pieces, and I did purchase some kits earlier this month. The Muntons Gold, of course, which I've purchased and went ahead and made that. I grabbed a Cooper's Cerveza, Mexican Cerveza kit, quite a cheap kit. It's about 15 pounds. But I do need to get the brewing sugar to go with this one. This one you need to add sugar to. So you need a bag of sugar to go with this, but everything else is here, the yeast and the ingredients. I've got the Bad Cat kit that my friend Dan gave me. So looking forward to making that one. I might make that one next, to be honest, to follow on from the Evil Dog. Be interesting to see if that comes out sweet as well. The Bad Cat. I picked up a St. Peter's cream stout. I'm looking forward to trying this. I've never made stout before. Now this makes 36 pints, so a slightly smaller yield from this. 36 pint cream stout. Again, you don't need the sugar. It's all in here, all the ingredients. So I'll see how that turns out, and give you a quick run through when I make it. I'll just make a quick video to show you how I go about using this kit and putting it together to make a cream stout. So that's another one. And sitting in the back here, I don't know if you can see from there, but I've got an American Amber Ale, another 40 pint kit, so-called 4.4% ABV. I have made that before. It's quite nice. I do enjoy that one. It's a bit lighter than the usual heavy ales. Very nice colour, very nice flavour. So it's on a par with the American IPAs, although it's referred to as an American Amber Ale. It is reminiscent of an American IPA. So quite a few bits and pieces here. Plenty of kits to work my way through. So I'm enjoying a little, it's lost the head a little bit. I'll just tickle that up a little bit just to show you. There we go. Just a little tickle on the top. You can see it's got quite a creamy head coming. And the head retention on the side of the glass is very good. As you drink down, they refer to head retention where the actual head is sticking to the side of the glass as it goes down. And that's a sign of a good beer, apparently. So quite a good head retention. As I said earlier, it's a lovely flavour, it's a lovely beer. Still slightly cloudy, but a little bit on the sweet side for me, but maybe that's just me. So, plenty to do. The pub's coming along. I've got a beer that I'm able to drink. I've got another one sitting in the corner. I will be making another one. I've got another keg sitting on the floor. And I need to make another drip tray for this second keg of beer. But the drip trays are quite handy. Little plastic bottle. Just cut that shape out with the hole in the back to slip it over the tap. Works a treat. So, quick one today, guys. Just to say hi. Let you know that things are developing here, and that yeah, we're getting on with it, and we're enjoying AJ's Den, the life's good, beers, and all manner of other things. Now I'm hoping to digress a little bit into some other subjects soon. It won't be all homebrew, although at the moment that is the main thing that I can dwell on to keep my videos going. So bear with me. We will move on to something else. I'd like to be able to make some chutney with some vegetables at some point. So if I get around to doing that, that'll be an interesting one. Certainly with Christmas around the corner, if you can get some veg together that's suitable for making a chutney, maybe we'll do something where we can knock together a little chutney that would be nice to have with our cold meat and cheese at Christmas. So maybe that's another video I can put together fairly soon, if I can get the ingredients. So in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my evil dog. I'm going to consider making the bad cat, and come back and see you guys soon with an update on the pub progress, lighting, ornaments, etc. And yeah, hope to see you all soon. So don't forget, there's a little red thing in the corner, the subscribe button. Hit that if you like the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Any comments you wish to make, I would gratefully receive. Oh, there was one. Brian. Oh, what the heck was Brian's surname? Can't remember. Brian suggested I try Caxton's Ale. He's made a Caxton's Ale kit. Apparently it's quite good. He's enjoyed it. And he suggested I might like to give it a go. So I'll have a look around and see if I can find some Caxton beer kits. I have to admit, I've never made Caxton's before, so that'll be interesting. That's another one I can consider. If you guys have tried it and used it and it's successful, let me know what it's like. Maybe suggest the best one to try. But yeah, so thanks to Brian for that suggestion. So we'll have a look at Caxton's. Well, whatever you're doing, you take care of yourselves, you be safe, you be happy. Come back and see us soon, and I look forward to seeing you again here in The Life's Good. Cheers. Bye-bye for now. Beautiful.